에이펙스 바른문화 캠페인.
에이펙스 티켓 사러 오셨죠?
네, 맞아요.
이거 저희 팀 경기잖아요.
티켓 재판매 사지도 팔지도 말자고요.
저 죄송한데 여기 제 자리인데.
자기 좌석은 꼭 지키기 잊지 말아요.
와 이겼다! 줄 서가자!
어디 가세요? 다음 경기 절 경기인데.
1경기도 2경기도 끝까지 함께해요.
밝고 건강하게 에이펙스를 즐기는 여러분이 진정한 팬입니다.
언제 어디서나 깔끔하고 상쾌하게
이런 게 트래비 스타일.
Stylish Sparkling Water 트래비.
As a full-time streamer, my computer has to keep up with everything I do. All my streaming applications and the Twitch chat at the same time as the game. The Core i7 allows me to really concentrate on my viewers and my community.
결국 마지막에 좀 무너지네요.
다른 식의 강점이 좀 필요하지 않나? 신형 엔진을 하나를 바꿔놓으니까 다른 팀이 됐어요.
모드링이 다 만듭니다.
아예 못 막아요, 이펙트를.
네.
말릴 수가 없어요. 눈 깜짝할 사이에 모든 것이 끝나버려요.
네. 정말 압도적인 그런 그 기본기를 보여줬었는데 한계가 거의 느껴지지 않는다.
왕에 귀한 느낌이에요. 이들의 클래스는 절대 어디 가지 않는다. 노련해요.
Overwatch Apex Season 3, energized by Hot 6, semi-final. Today's matchup, Kongju Panthera, EnVyUs.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another day of Overwatch Apex Season 3. It's time for the final semi-final of this tournament. I'm Achilles. Joining me today on the cast is Wolf, and one of these two teams will be earning their way through a best-of-7 into the grand final where Lunatikai is waiting.
We could have Season 1's champion against Season 2's champion. We could have the rematch for the third time of Panthera versus Lunatikai in that grand final. It's all going to be decided tonight as Panthera is going to play their very first career best-of-7. They've never made it this deep into a tournament before. This is their first time to potentially go the distance to play that longer series.
I mean, it's a series of firsts as well, overall, because these two teams have never faced against each other. You'll remember that during Season 1, it was Kongdu Uncia that we saw EnVyUs go up against, take them down, earn their way into the final, and then win that final against Afrika Freaks Blue. But they have not played against Panthera, so now it's time for the clash of some of the best DPS players in the world. Birdring and Rascal on the side of Kongju Panthera going up against Effect and Taimu of EnVyUs. It is a titanic clash of DPS, and I cannot wait to get into the series.
That's probably going to be the defining factor of this series. As we already had Lunatikai take the 4-0 over Afrika Freaks Blue. They were dominant all season long, but they hit a roadblock big time in Lunatikai. It was domination on the side of LH, destroying them 4-0. And our second match, as you just said, will determine our second finalist to meet Lunatikai in that grand final. There's a lot of things to talk about going into this one. Panthera's run against the two teams that were rebuilding Who Are You off the roster. And then, of course, Luna playing Winston, but EnVyUs having arguably the easier group. So no one can say exactly how these two teams tonight are going to stack up against each other.
Yeah, I mean, Kongju Panthera had played Lunatikai twice already during this season. You have to say they probably had the tougher road. Biggest bump in the road for EnVyUs was having to reverse sweep meta Athena and then losing to X6, but then coming back and 3-0ing them with relatively easy fashion. So there's an argument to be made for either side, but either way, finding these two teams facing off against each other, this could be one of the closest matches that we've had during this entire season for sure. If you're unfamiliar with the new setup here for the best-of-7, we'll start off with Control into Hybrid, Assault, Escort, finish off with yet another Hybrid match if we make it all the way to 7.
And knowing how good EnVyUs is on Escort and Hybrid, if the series does develop into a longer one, I do feel it really does favor them going into that longer best-of-7. Not to mention they have several best-of-7 experiences playing overseas, and also obviously playing in that grand finals where they were able to defeat Afrika Freaks Blue in Season 1. Didn't go the distance, didn't go to that 7th game, but they have experience in these tough situations, these high-stakes matches. At the end of tournaments, they've won several, they've played on the big stage, and for Panthera, this is their first time.
Yeah, I mean, going back to Afrika Freaks Blue, actually have not been able to take a single map in best-of-7s, lost 0-4 in Season 1 Grand Final versus EnVyUs, now losing 0-4 to Lunatikai in the semifinal. So a very rough road for those guys. That's some interesting artwork that we have, especially on the left. But rough road for them. Hopefully for either of these teams, it's going to be a little bit less bumpy as they dive into the semifinal.
So that's it says break in the mech there. We'll see if that is what's going to happen as Mickey versus Void is going to be another side story going into this best-of-7. The mechs being so important to defend. Look at this artwork.
She just made somebody an emote pack for the Twitch stream right there.
There you
go.
Just
take them and implement them.
So basically a big fan of Mickey and Effect, specifically giving Mickey his I guess Vocaloid treatment there. I'm not entirely sure exactly what the storyline for that sign was, but
it's mildly terrifying, but very good artwork. So kudos to you, whoever the artist is there in the audience. I mean, yeah, fans coming out to play here today, Tuesday evening here in Seoul. But still, everybody's showing up because school's out.
Yeah, that's right, and more people piling in by the second as we get ready to jump into this one. I feel like for the crowd, definitely it is very Panthera favored, but EnVyUs has always had Korean fans here since Season 1. They do their chats in English. The only time that's ever really happened in Korean esports to see a foreign team get that cheer. But let's hear from the two teams as we head to this best-of-7.
I think they're the easiest team. I thought Lunatikai would beat the group. I think just because they didn't have Who Are You, I think Kongdu kind of cruised through the first place.
완전체로 와서도 이겼을 것 같아. 지금까지 너무 센 팀들하고만 해가지고 쉬어가는 타임으로 괜찮을 것 같아요. 전략도 거의 이펙트 선수 날뛸 수 있도록 만들어주는 전략이 많이 보이는데 버틀의 카운터가 루시오 아니겠습니까? 제 손에서 정리해드리겠습니다. 보보봉.
It's gonna take the whole team, and I don't think that's enough either. I think effect is like if you say that Birdring and Rascal are here, I'm like here, and effect is here. Like you can't even see him.
타이모 선수가 뭐 저격 메타나 뭐 맥크리 쓰는 그런 메타에서는 굉장히 잘하는 선수인 건 아는데 솔직히 지금 그렇게 힘을 많이 못 쓰고 있다고 좀 더 연습시켜주고 싶다.
I'm the official bait. Whoop. I like being the underdog. It takes pressure. I think that's a big part of our success right now. When I get to the semifinals, I never lose the semifinals. If Kongdu Panthera thinks that this was the hard part, right now will be the hardest part.
저희가 더 위라고 생각합니다. 단점 포인트는 전원 처치, 우승까지 스트레이트로 가도록 하겠습니다. 굿 게임.
Kongdu Panthera.
자, 네, 이렇게 원격에서 하나 계속
용검 있어요.
순식간에 쭉 살짝 커피가 처리를 하고다.
다음에 그래서 좋아요.
이게 앞서서
Luffy.
이거 그냥 정말 일반
지금 엄청나게
Fisher.
이게 라스카 선수가 그렇죠. 장려도
자, 라스칼이 도대체 몇 킬을 해야 되는 겁니까?
라스칼의 팀에서 지금
자, 이렇게 되면
완전 뚫렸죠. 완전 뚫렸죠.
시간입니다. 공격 판테라.
완전 그래죠.
라스칼이 다시 한번 이렇게.
Rascal.
오들에게 힘을 실어줄 수가 없어요. 초반에서 비빌 수 있는데 못 비비게 하기 위해서
Boy.
오드가 조기조기가 이상을 잘하는데 이건 나쁘지 않아요.
쉬워.
오들이랑 자꾸 그렇지.
여기 세 명이
Birdring.
먼저 작품까지 연계.
Waka Waka. Kongdu Panthera.
So there's the members of Kongdu Panthera. Some nice trash talk exchange between Waka Waka and Taimu. Though a bit of a correction, Taimu says they never lose in the semifinal. We think back to Gamescom. They did lose to Rogue, but Rogue, you know, fall out of the tournament. So I guess EnVyUs kind of do have the last laugh in that regard, but it was, of course, without Mickey on that spot.
Yeah, well, this feels like a very different tournament, but remember the dominant form we saw from Panthera on their way here was against tougher teams. Lunatic Kai getting the revenge win against them 3-1. Sure, Who Are You was off the roster, but you have to give them credit. In their first series, they brought them all the way to the distance. Even when Who Are You was on the roster, it had to be the reverse sweep for Lunatic Kai on opening day. And then LW Blue, there was the added asterisk that Giannis had the collapse long, wasn't there to play, but they had the tougher groups, both in the round of 16 and in the round of 8. Everyone would argue Taimu got exactly what he wanted in that group selection for the round of 8. So the dominant performances we saw, maybe not as strong as what we've seen from Panthera. They had the harder run, most would argue.
Yeah. I do have to back you up on that one. It seems just on paper that they would have that harder one, but it's time to go ahead and meet the other side of the coin. Let's go ahead and take a look at EnVyUs' roster as we get ready to dive straight into this semifinal.
EnVyUs. Chips High-End.
옛날 전성기 쳤다 그 모습이에요. 한번 너무 어디가 치고말았어요. 한번 이거죠.
Coco. Effect. Fiery Hook. Mickey. Taimu. EnVyUs.
And there you go, EnVyUs, the roster you guys know and love, and all the Western fans hanging out in chat. Probably spamming Envy win or something similar to that, if not PogChamp, after all of those highlight kills, effect with the triple pulse bomb, of course.
They had the
favorite.
Yeah, they had the reverse sweep against Meta Athena. They defeated them again. Their first run against X6, they weren't so lucky, but in their second attempt, they got the 3-0. But this team seems to adapt quickly on the fly. When they faced Meta Athena, they were able to bring it back. And when they faced X6 a second time, they were able to dominate. But this time, there are no second chances. This is the semifinals. This best of 7 is all they've got, so they're going to have to hit it hard. Falling behind early isn't an option for the Western favorite here.
Certainly not want to get out to that early lead, take the first map, and just try to steamroll from there. We were surprised to see the momentum gained for the side of Lunatic High over Freaka Freaks Blue, who were the favorite going into that matchup. Started things off with a win, and were able to take a 4-0 from there. See if either team can pull that off here today. I think that would be one hell of a feat to accomplish. Doesn't seem very likely. We'll go ahead and take a look. Our first battleground will in fact be Oasis, so Sombra going to be a very big question of who is going to be running this one on either team.
Yeah.
Should we end up on University?
Panthera definitely had struggles with Pines Sombra on this very map, but they're going to be focused on the pharmacy comp. We go to the outer parts here, not on University, so that's something that EnVyUs is going to have to be prepared for because their pharmacy, very strong. Luffy on the Mercy. The res is going to come in. Taimu's going to have to be on point with his shots on the low ground if he's going to be running that soldier. But the Sombra play, you have to give the edge to EnVyUs in that regard. That's going to be Taimu who's playing that one very likely. So this first map, very even in terms of play styles here. It could certainly go either way.
For sure. Like I said, controlling that pharmacy, something that could be very detrimental to the side of EnVyUs. Maybe we have to see the force on something like the McCree from Taimu, or just stick to the Soldier 76, try to snipe them out of the sky. Effect, we've seen him flex over to the Soldier once for about 15 seconds, so don't think he's going to be the one piloting that pick. You never know what could happen, though. It's the semifinal. It's a best of 7. Kongdu Panthera versus EnVyUs. Let's go ahead, load up for our first map of this series. It's Oasis.
I get it.
Fans going back and forth. See how that volume's going to change as we go deeper into the series. But for now, it's a nice way to start off the day here for you and I. Well, I say start off the day, but it is into the later hours. Yeah, the evening here in Korea. Nice sunny day, 4th of July. We got some Overwatch action. It's a semifinal. We got it.
Yeah.
Everything is going
got
well.
The
stage
Western
is
team
set.
on 4th of July. There you go. So this is no surprise. We have,
freedom has to win. America has to win today, man.
That's the rules, right? Well, we've got Rascal on his Pharah here. One of the reasons why he was with his team so dominant is now on the Panthera roster because of his Pharah, his accuracy, and the duel here between him and Luffy has been the main tactic, the main strategy for Panthera every time on Oasis, and they've already taken out Chips here.
Yeah, we mentioned how important that could be. Taimu actually getting pooped off to it. Nice little spot, keeps himself safe, does not get knocked off the map to go down, but 3 frags already coming through there for Kongdu Panthera. Nice pick off by Rascal. Mickey's going to get popped out of the mech off screen as Birdring comes dashing through, and it seems like Kongdu Panthera want to get this first cap.
Yeah, a very massive ult advantage, obviously, to Panthera with this one. Rascal nearly with the barrage, the res at about the same percent at 73, and even though Taimu started on the Soldier here, he has been unsuccessful so far. Even trying to use the Helix rockets there to knock Rascal out of the sky will be unsuccessful thus far.
Not quite going to find that. First cap comes through, just ticking up slowly at the moment here for Kongdu Panthera. Barrage nearly there for Rascal, could be a game changer. They can kill him right as that barrage comes down, maybe then. I'll allow them to help retake this point. Leap in comes down from Coco as they start trying to posture forward.
Good
Mirage
angle
comes
here.
down to the backside immediately. 2 going down. Will get killed in the end. But good lord, Rascal just opens up this point for Kongju Panthera to hold on to this one rather comfortably. And you can see he's having a bit of a laugh there in the booth. Knows that he has done well for his squad.
It looks like EnVyUs was trying to brute force their way through the archway, not really looking up, not focusing on him anymore, and Mickey was definitely not there with the defense matrix in time. They just didn't realize his positioning there, and he got a juicy opportunity, took it, and now they post plus 50, and Luffy still has that res available.
He's pushing through, finds chips yet again, third time, taking down that Zenyatta. Post pump comes up with 2, but the res is there immediately from Luffy to answer. EnVyUs now down 3 members just with the 1. So Kongju Panthera's Waka Waka goes down. Effect is able to trade back 1 here onto the Pharah. Has to dash out to keep himself alive as Birdring goes forward, trying to win out on this Tracer battle. Will be able to do so with the help of Void. Comes from behind, smacks him down, gets Mickey as well. Kongju Panthera are holding strong on the point right now. 80% about to be achieved. Primal Rage popped down here by Coco. Will knock the D.Va out of the mech, forces the self-destruct, so will not have that as a zoning tool onto the point as we get nearer and nearer to overtime, but EnVy is still struggling to get in here.
EnVyUs is going to have to use everything here. They're nearly at the big 6 to try to flip this point, but that's going to give a huge edge to Panthera. They love to do it.
Going low. Right as that sound barrier does come through. Taimu not yet using the attack visor. Now will go ahead and pop this one. Gets pooped back immediately. The focus from Fisher just goes straight forward onto the soldier, stopping that attack visor from finding the pharmacy comp, and now we're into overtime.
There's a res still available here for Panthera as well. Luffy's holding on to that one. Chip's going to drop the Transcendence here, but there's the res. Fisher is back online. EnVyUs needs to break through.
They bring him back out, but Void gets popped into the mech immediately. Could go down very swiftly as Rascal fires away, has another barrage ready to go, finds chips yet again. Barrage comes down, gets rid of Harry Hook. Both the supports being taken out, and he is finally going to go down as Coco finds the kill. But still, the point not yet being flipped, and EnVyUs are suffering heavy losses, trying to trade back. Effect pops
Effect
Void
at 4
the
health.
back.
4 health on this guy. He does get taken out by Waka Waka in the end.
Go down, and now it's all onto Coco. Primal Rage available. Drops down just below 100 before he pops this one, trying to delay as long as humanly possible for the rest of his squad to come in. Has to smack away here on the Waka Waka, but they actually leave the point.
Well, Achilleos, this was a dominant showing from Panthera. The air battle was won by Rascal in force, especially in the early game where he was able to get that amazing barrage. Res not necessary. They had the ult advantage for most of that fight. And then on the low ground, Effect was completely nullified by Void's defense matrix. People have been critical of Void's overextensions on the D.Va, looking for incredible self-destructs, trying to dive the backline. But today, he's altered his playstyle. He's going to be defensive, and unfortunately for Effect, that meant no real pickoffs there. Despite the 1 double kill on Pulse Bomb, there weren't really any big kills individually. And here's the jump off here for the Cap. Big mistake there.
Miscommunication. He went way too far forward before Mickey was able to get back into the point, so EnVyUs cannot afford to make similar mistakes as we move forward now. In onto University, you can see Rascal is operating on the Sombra, and EnVyUs not going to be matching this at the moment. They should be expecting the Sombra to come through. An interesting approach, not trying to run one themselves.
Well, it's going to definitely take away a lot of the sustained healing for Coco as he wants to go in and out. Mickey as well there. Beck going to get the first pick, though, onto Waka.
Good way to start things off. Spec tries to build up for that pulse bomb. Gets jumped on by Rascal. Keep himself safe. Now chasing forward, down into the pit. Trying to get rid of Fisher. Goes dangerously low. 1 HP. Will be finished off by Rascal right at the end. Now EMP already set to go. Pops himself up with the translocator. Drops it down, but it's going to be the first one to fall as Harry just focuses him out with the Lucio. Now Void will be getting pushed back. Knocked out into the Baby D.Va form. Has to jump off the map.
Yep, going to be a little bit of a desync spawn. The Sombra pick when he rushed in for the health pack obviously removes a lot of the healing for EnVyUs, but at the same time, the EMP came in too late. It was just too little too late. EnVyUs has already won the battle before that happened. They couldn't buy enough time for the EMP, and he's going to stick with it, though.
I mean,
now
he's already
40.
at 50%.
Yeah,
So.
50, I should say, not 40. 10 seconds in the middle of my sense of accrued here.
Just Sombra things. So that one works, and now he's at 80, so there you go. So, no real punishment for burning out that EMP. Just going to be looking to build up for another one here. Tries to get the hack off. Has the EMP ready to go as they pop Mickey out of the suit. He'll jump back with the translocator as that pulse bomb off screen. From Effect does find Fisher.
Void
again.
Tanks. Protection here against Taimu. There's the EMP as well, right on the high ground.
And already Chip's going to be the first one who gets popped off. Luffy with that Jack Flies who takes him out. And they'll just go ahead and sweep through EnVy. And the retake will come through here for Kongju Panthera. 52% accrued for EnVyUs. Still have a couple ultimates in the inventory at the moment that they can use to try to retake this one.
say high ground, I mean mid-air. They were in the high air up there was where the EMP came down, and that was just a really good defense matrix by Void to completely nullify Taimu's tac visor. He's already back up to 40% though, so we'll have another one really soon. They do have the advantage in terms of control meter. Here comes Birdring for the pick attempt.
You're not going to find it, but does force out on that Transcendence. In the meantime, Taimu's gotten rid of Luffy, and Birdring works his way back over to the high ground, dropping down right in the thick of the fight as that sound barrier comes through for Kongju Panthera, but it's still not enough to keep Fisher alive, nor Waka Waka. Effect dashing forward, takes out the enemy Lucio, and EnVyUs halfway to getting this retake on the point to start getting closer and closer to 100%. Their way through, Cap will come through. 38 accrued for Kongju Panthera on that retake. Now EnVyUs moving further up, and they did not have to invest anything other than the Transcendence.
And when Luffy's been flexing on this soldier, he's looked really good the few times he has done it, but the fights have been won by EMPs on the side of Panthera, and when they don't have the EMPs that look weak, they don't have as much healing with only Waka Waka on the support.
Won't do it.
One.
Drops it down, not going to find a kill. Does take people dangerously low, Void being one of them, almost gets him out of that mech, but no kills come off the backside of that pulse bomb. In the meantime, Taimu finds Birdring, pops out that tac visor, now has this one available as the Discord Orb goes down in onto Fisher, chases him out, tries to get him, but the defense matrix is there from Void. The body block for the rest of it, but he's going to be paying for that one with his own life. As he gets knocked out into the Baby Diva form, they will just be leaving him be, trying to stagger him as much as possible.
Quite important when we're only 10 seconds away from a victory here, or at least overtime for EnVyUs. Rascal's EMP not enough to win it for them this time. And I don't know if they're even going to be able to make a contest here. Just going to be Birdring.
Tags his way in here to get the overtime ticking. Fisher working his way through, does have to leap in. No Primal Rage available though, so he's just going to get focused down. Falls immediately. Chips finding the kill now. Transcendence just to keep everybody alive through this tac visor from Luffy on the high ground. He's got to wrap around, look for a different angle. Self-destruct, finds two, gets rid of effect, and Mickey goes down. Knocked out of that mech, but is it going to be enough? EnVyUs still posturing forward. The EMP does come through. A couple kills straight back as Chips goes down, but Harry Hook is still alive. But you see EnVyUs kiting back, will give the point over in overtime. 42% ticking upward here for Kongju Panthera, but they had to invest everything.
Yeah, you had to use everything, and they haven't even by any means secured this second point, but Void is the MVP, blocking consistently the tac visors, jumping in there onto Taimu twice, having that self-destruct, that double kill definitely helped secure the retake, and something Void's known for. This is his Diva playstyle, is his self-destructs are accurate and very aggressive, and this time it works out for them.
That's quite well. Birdring having to get himself out of dodge, chases forward, helps take down Taimu. Very crucial pickup coming through, 2 for 2 at the moment. Pulse bomb thrown out, not going to find anything, gets a lot of damage out onto Mickey's suit, but he will just go ahead, throw out that self-destruct. Won't find anything this time around. It seems like this is going to be a fought one for Kongju Panthera overall. Now at 80%, EnVyUs going to have to recoup and get ready to push in very cohesively to try to get this retake and tie things up 1-1 on Oasis.
Really unfortunate they used the self-destruct. That was going to be the big tool there. They're going to have basically everything else here, the sound barrier and the primal rage, but Rascals can just shut it all down in one big Q. Here we go, coming from behind. Doesn't use it though. He's waiting for a juicier opportunity.
Chips did not have the Transcendence, so couldn't beat that one out. Now has it available, jumps back in, drops it down. Ultimate's coming through here still from EnVyUs. Didn't quite clip everybody, but the overtime is ticking down, and Mickey, sitting in the point at the moment, will get healed up by that Transcendence. Taimu as well here, trying to get this retake. Primal Rage popped out by Fisher, but the Discord Orbs makes him a juicy target. They rip right through him. Hot knife through butter. He goes down. Void popped out of the mech. The tanky front line from Kongju Panthera has been nullified. Rascal all on his lonesome. Gonna get soloed out here by Mickey. Just needs one final shot. Can't quite find it, but in the meantime, EnVyUs have the point. They tie it up. And now we're going to be moving over to City Center to close out Oasis.
Already a fiery series starting things off on our first map, Oasis. The best opportunity there, so down on ult economy for Panthera, was to get the tac visor popped right after the EMP. If you look back, Luffy was at 99% when the shot came down. The EMP was good and Mickey was demeched, but they focused him down. He was all alone trying to get the greedy high ground tac visor. That was the game plan for Panthera, but Luffy died immediately right after the EMP went down. Didn't have enough DPS there, nor the healing. And EnVyUs just had way more ultimates.
Well, having to fight a bit more tooth and nail over this Oasis map so far, perhaps than they expected their Envy, but they do come out with a win despite not running the Sombra into Sombra. So still a good showing for them to start things off. Taimu now working over onto the Widowmaker.
Not the first time we've seen him do this. Often try to counter the Pharmacy. Not going to be the case for Panthera this time though, running actually the Genji instead.
Could be a bit worrisome if Rascal can find his way on top of that Widowmaker and just lock out Taimu. Looking for the wraparound there. Finds Birdring with a body shot. Can't quite kill him, though the headshot does not come through. But chases back in. Timing with a spot of bother down below 100 HP. Keeps himself safe for the moment. Finds Rascal now trying to open up here on the Void. But the Winston comes forward. He has to kite back around the corner to keep himself safe. But Envy, they come up with multiple kills, but they're not posturing far enough forward onto the point. Very much staying back to protect Taimu, so they lose out on that first cap.
Panthera is okay with this, though, because more important than those later kills there that EnVyUs made it a kind of a 2-for-2 is the capture itself. Getting that defender's advantage here to build up percentage, to get the ult advantage. Effect struggling to find kills here, but Luffy's down.
Oh, that's going to be both supports falling. His Effect follows up with Waka Waka, gets rid of him. Now Rascal, the spot of bother as well, drops down off the high ground, does get taken out. Found Taimu at the same time, but getting rid of the Widowmaker, not going to be the most crucial thing when it comes down to defending the point.
I mean, this is just a showcasing of Effect's tracking skills. Look at that kill onto the D.Va. The immediate flyaway, a very complicated chase. He just crushes him right out of the mag. Basically just got 4 kills all on his own. With the support of his teammates, but the tracking is what guarantees the kills.
Yeah, but it still does have a very nice delay there on the cap, still being delayed out as you see Rascal coming back in onto the point, just trying to buy as much time as humanly possible. They take up to about 50%. The cap still has not come through here for EnVyUs. They need to get onto this very swiftly. Do have it finally.
And that's why I say kills are not as important as the capture. He's at 53% now, Kongdu Panthera, with the massive amount of ultimates. EnVyUs themselves, though, built up quite a few. That was an easy take, very much ultless they took, dry, if you will. So it's going to be a big clash here as Taimu is the only one really not having his ultimate, but that's not a high-impact ultimate in team fights.
He's got the infra side up at the moment, just trying to look for somebody wrapping around the corner to get those picks. Self-destruct going to be tossed out there by Mickey, looking for something. Does find Waka Waka and force out the Transcendence on the other side there from Luffy as they try to push forward. Rascal just going to get zapped to death, and Effect comes in from behind. Gets rid of that pesky Genji, and that will halt Kongdu Panthera for a significant amount of time, but ultimates aplenty going to be there for these guys as they get ready to come back in. Coco having to pop out on that Primal Rage, keeping himself alive for the Pulse Bomb.
Good trade for Panthera, but they want more here, as getting the Primal Rage only is still not going to be enough.
I mean, it's a major delay tactic coming through.
Now they're trapped
there
in
we
spawn.
go.
I mean, this is terrible for Panthera. This might just be the beginning of the end if they can't find a way to break through here.
Well, that's going to be tying up the percentage at the moment as EnVyUs starts exceeding past that. 80% here for Taimu. So he can get another infra strike, trying to just keep spots on all of the Kongdu Panthera members, especially once to find Waka Waka and Luffy.
The massive advantage they have plus infra strike would be insane. Looks like this is going to be the opportunity, though, for Panthera to dive in.
Yeah, the sound barrier comes through. Dragon Blade ready to go here from Rascal. Dashes through, finds Taimu. Just cuts him down with the melee swing. Now looking for Chips down on the low ground. Chips is all on his lonesome. Will get cut down right off the bat. Swing through, finds Coco and EnVyUs. Pretty much going to be team kills as they come through. Recap will be here for Kongdu Panthera.
First thing I notice is Taimu switches now back onto the Soldier here, not going to try to hold any choke points or win out with the Widowmaker anymore. Rascal's been a big pain for him, and he wants to just go and build up that attack by they still have a huge advantage in time. They didn't use everything to break through, and Panthera finds himself a little bit dry on ultimates right now, so definitely can be a retake here. Taimu's going to be the one who's trying to get the picks first with the harassment coming in from Effect. Speaking of which, here he goes.
Pulse Bomb comes through, but it looks like it's going to be eaten out. It's going to be Pulse Bomb down. Actually, Harry Hook and Taimu both get taken down as Birdring just picks up the triple kill, gets rid of Chips. All the support members going down. Effect falling as well. 85% for Kongdu Panthera, looking for that overtime. They'll finish off Coco as well, chasing them back towards the spawn. And could this be it? Kongdu Panthera might be looking to go ahead and close out on Oasis.
Good coordination there by EnVyUs. You could tell the collapse was real, but just too late here. Okay, it's going to be looking to be the capture coming in now, or sorry, the hold coming in for Kongdu Panthera.
That's just going to be it.
They put all their eggs in one pulse bomb, if you will. The coordination coming in was really well done. You could tell the whole idea was to smash one or two members with the pulse bomb, do enough DPS there, crush it, win the fight without using very many ultimates, really only the pulse bomb. But when the D.Va Eat came in, it was very difficult from that point on for them to turn the fight, and they were out of position because they all aggressively dove in at the same time.
Yeah. Poor phrasing by me on that one, but yeah, the eat on the pulse bomb, absolutely massive for Kongdu Panthera. And they close out Oasis, start things out with a win. Very back and forth. Widowmaker, a couple good picks, getting Waka Waka when they were shoved back towards the spawn. A very good one, but outside of that, not nearly as impactful. So maybe the swap over to something like the Soldier 76, we should have seen that sooner from the likes of EnVyUs. We know how flexible they are, how willing they are to swap. Taimu especially You know, going between the Soldier, Sombra, Widowmaker, Roadhog, McCree, all of these picks we've seen from him very consistently. Well, a little bit longer this time around. They do lose Oasis for it.
We're definitely going to either Kings Row or Hollywood, you have to think, for EnVyUs now with map pick available. They've never played a game of Eichenwald this tournament, so it would be surprising for them to pick it now.
Maybe that's the secret.
Could be. See where they want to take us. It's going to be Numbani, in fact. They are 2-1 on this map. We've seen the Torbjorn hold attempts here with Mickey. We've seen all sorts of triple DPS pushes. There's a lot of different styles you've seen from EnVyUs on this map, so not a huge shocker, not their best map, but one that they're very experienced on, especially as of late.
Yeah. We could see that one come through. The Torbjorn here, like you said, has been a very prevalent strategy as of late during this tournament. So could just see that one come out on point A, trying to get that defense coming through. See what they want to do, because we've also seen, you know, the likes of the triple support, and that is Kongdu Panthera's specialty when it comes down to defense, and also attack on Hanamura for whatever reason they like to run that triple support pushing in.
We could see the triple DPS from Panthera as well, with Luffy flexing into the Soldier for the attack, with Pharmacy coming over with the Farah from Rascal. We've seen them attack on Numbani like that several times, so EnVyUs is going to have to be prepared for a multitude of scenarios.
Let's see how this map pick's going to play out for them. Wanted that first map win, but it does go the way of Kongdu Panthera. Now time to try and even up the series 1-1 as we move over to Numbani.
I get it.
Here we go. Map 2. As we move over to Numbani, EnVyUs is going to be the first on the attack. Kongdu Panthera on defense, and we'll see what they want to run. Right now, hovering over the Sombra.
Interesting as well, Waka Waka looking to potentially flex off the Lucio into the Soldier to leave Luffy on Ana as solo support, quote-unquote. You have the Rascal extra health packs, you have Waka Waka's biofield, but the majority of the healing will be coming from Luffy, the burst healing that's going to be coming out. So that's going to be, it looks like, how they actually want to play this. No swaps coming in, at least at this stage. And Rascal's already doing railguard duty here, so I think we're going to see it. More of an unusual composition here, but we've seen Waka Waka play the Soldier a lot in the past, one of his previous roles before he became the Lucio main for the team. So this is not a shocker. It's a bit weird considering that Luffy has been playing the Soldier a lot when they've swapped.
I mean, Waka Waka, former DPS player, so this one does make a little bit sense, but it means that there's so much more onus on Luffy to stay safe.
Yeah.
Because if he goes down, there is pretty much no healing coming out for Kongdu Panthera, and their defense can get absolutely shattered.
It's very similar to how Harry Hook would flex onto the Soldier when you consider roles. So going to be just the 2-2-2 coming in here for EnVyUs, though. Chips on the Ana, looking for the burst Discord orbs.
Filing in through the left flank, will be working down.
They get away with it too. They just get all the way in here.
Yeah, they wrap their way around here. Fisher goes forward, has not taken much damage yet, being spammed back up here by Luffy. Still over on the high ground. Effects actually the first one that goes down. Birdring going forward, finds the kill here onto the enemy Tracer. Envy will be posturing behind the point at the moment.
Scary now for Taimu, you know, all alone as the DPS before Effect returns. Will actually get away with this, though.
Make it back swiftly. They'll go ahead, wrap back around, just kind of giving them the run around. Work their way in onto the point.
Really interesting tactics here for Panthera, just backing off completely here to try to do the retake surprise, but bought time for Effect to come back, and this may have been a mistake now as EnVyUs is getting several kills.
Yeah, Effect finds 2 right off the bat. Luffy going to be one of them, so that's going to be a major pickup here for the side of EnVyUs. Rascal going down as well as Coco just leaps forward. Now pop out on the mech there from Void. Will get taken down, and that's going to be the cap coming through for EnVyUs. So very slightly delayed by that opening pick onto Effect, but they do make it back very quickly. He shows up huge with the Tracer play, and they get that cap now. 5 minutes, 10 seconds on the clock for them to go through the streets phase.
They had the early pick onto Effect, but they lost a lot of their hit points. They were kind of down on health there. Rascal wasn't going to have the EMP, so they backed off looking for a re-engage dive. And also you could see Birdring was trying to look for time, trying to maybe find the positioning of Effect there, but he wasn't there when the attack came in. Taimu got away with the with no defense there, just getting up onto the high ground, and kind of a weird defense there from Panthera. Very much just letting the point go.
For now, going to be looking to contest this payload as that nano boost does come down here onto Fisher. Pulse bomb out will chunk him down to about half HP. Sending him packing back towards the rest of the squad. Some delays the DPS coming through from the Winston for a bit longer, but Harry Hook has fallen, so EnVyUs in a bit of a spot of bother as Rascal pokes around the backside, hacks down on that health pack. Meanwhile, the nano visor coming up from Taimu. Good blockage coming through from that bubble from the Winston, but will get taken down, and he's going to go ahead, finds Waka Waka. Luffy goes down. Both supports plus Void taken out by Taimu.
So well done.
Now on fire, and the payload keeps moving.
They're pushing so close to that checkpoint. Rascal wasn't able to get that EMP off, and Void was focused in that fight because they wanted to remove that for the tack visor, and it worked out so well for them.
Last minute contest coming through as Rascal drops down, finds effect right off the bat as he drops down to the EMP. Bird Ring looking for the pulse bomb, not going to find the stick, just get taken down by Taimu right off the exchange as they start fighting over the payload. 1.2 meters left to go as the self-destruct is thrown in. Not going to find any kills, but Waka Waka does take out Chips. In the meantime, Luffy goes down, Coco finding that kill. And it seems like EnVyUs is still going to be steamrolling their way in for point B. Just have to finish off Void. Get rid of this pesky diva to try to finish off this push.
He's going to go down here eventually. Fisher does survive. He's pretty low. There's the sound barrier. Yeah.
They really want to hold this one out, try to delay and drain as much time off the clock as possible. And with that sound barrier coming down, EnVyUs says, okay, you know what? Go ahead, use your support ultimate. We'll go ahead, kite back. We'll wait for Nikki to die, which is taking an awfully long time. Not going to let him go without staggering him for an eternity. They will get the delay, but still 3 minutes on the clock. It's only be a 2-minute investment on the entire Streets phase from EnVyUs so far.
It was a very Lunatic-esque way of defending there. They kind of staggered their ultimates, the Primal Rage, the EMP before that, then the Self-Destruct, a lot of different ways to buy time, and EnVyUs kind of saw blood in the water, went a little bit deep there, and didn't expect those to come out so staggered. And so obviously find themselves at a deficit as a result.
Well, that's going to be Luffy going down immediately. Effect plus Coco go for it. They take him out. Pulse bomb, not going to find the pick. Just gets a smattering of damage in as the Primal Rage comes through from Coco, just trying to smack everybody away from the payloads to get those final few meters left. Pushed in here. We'll start advancing a bit as time draws out that tack visor yet again. Finds Bird Ring just snapping around. The tracking so very beautiful from him. Comes up with the kill.
There hasn't been a tack visor for Taimu in this game that Void has been able to deny. This time they're focusing him down or they're zoning him out of the fights before the tack visor comes in. And they're winning these small engages that make it easier to kill Void. Once Void's down, all he has to do is press Q, hold down his left click, and Panthera just has to set up for another defense. The EMPs need to be better. There needs to be a better defense of Void, or perhaps he needs to position himself a little bit more behind so he doesn't get caught like this. Well, these tack visors are just going to keep popping off.
Well, EMP is ready to go yet again here from Rascal. We'll be trying to get the kill down here onto Chip. So far, he actually hasn't fallen. It's going to be Harry Hook going down. Taimu taken out as well as the Transcendence does come through here for Chips, trying to keep everybody else topped off, but they're still fighting against the man advantage that Kong Du Panthera have, plus those faster run backs. Chips will finally go down. And Coco does find Luffy, so an exchange on those Zenyatas, but it seems like Envy will be stopped off on this push for now. Move it a decent ways forward, still have about 3 minutes left on that clock as Mickey pushes in. He's trying to desperately get back towards that mech, but in all likelihood will be dropping off the map to get himself reset.
Looks like that's how it's going to be, but EnVyUs not really investing anything there. We saw Luffy drop down the Transcendence. The EMP was used, the Primal Rage, so a more expensive defense here for Panthera. EnVyUs building up towards a larger ult push, and they have 2.5 minutes left to do this, so I think they're going to be very happy with how that exchange went for them.
They work their way back through. Things moving yet again. Pulse bomb out, almost gets rid of Fisher. He'll be taken out in air as Taimu finds the kill. Void pushing forward, throws out that self-destruct.
Let's see what he gets.
Anything? No, they wrap around the corner in time to keep himself safe. He will make it back into the mech, doesn't get taken out in the baby form. So Sil can buy time here desperately for his squad, but has to hightail out of there as he almost gets popped out. Will get popped out right at the end. Pulse bomb from Bird Ring, not going to find a damn thing. And Taimu has yet another tack visor ready to go. Gets rid of Void yet again. As always, finds this diva, it seems. He's going to push forward, has that Transcendence ticking, trying to keep the rest of the team topped off as they wait for Void to rejoin and delay right in front of the final point. 2 minutes still on the clock here for Envy. They try to close this one out, but they lose out on Coco.
Taimu just completely uncontested in the backlights here. It's like they will get the pick onto Chips, however. Rascal doing a lot of damage, but Taimu again just untouched here. Look at him in the back doing so much extra damage. Here comes the attack visor though for Rascal.
Yeah, he's firing away, takes out Effect, helps take down Harry Hook, and Taimu will fall. So it seems like EnVyUs will finally be stopped out, but it's just 4 meters in front of point C. Minute and 20 seconds remaining on the clock. So a few more pushes available here for the side of Envy. Likely going to be looking to poke in a little bit, try to build up for another attack visor.
It's really
perhaps that sound barrier.
Good play by Rascal. I think he was the one who really turned that fight around. Bird Ring not finding the picks he wanted, and Void committing the self-destruct so greedy to try to get like a triple kill. It wasn't going to be available if they failed that defense, so a big risk that he took there.
Leap in comes through Chin-Sen. It's immediately popped down here by Chips, trying to keep everybody topped off. It's going to be matched with a sound barrier. You can see EnVyUs kiting back around the corner. Fisher goes low, has to pop the Primal Rage to keep himself alive, and now, in fact, in a bad spot, throws out the pulse bomb, not going to find anything. Gets taken down by Birdring right at the end. Fisher's still smacking him away. As that Primal Rage about to expire, will get Mickey out of the mech, and this is buying such crucial time for Kongdu on this defense. The rollback has been coming through here on this payload, and it's just 30 seconds remaining. Envy with one more realistic push.
This is going to be all about Void's self-destruct and his defense matrix when Taimu pops his ult. Will they be able to block it? That's going to be the big tool here. Harry Hook's going to have the sound barrier as well. Mickey should be able to build up to that self-destruct. Coco as well with the Primal Rage, but Taimu's going to be the big damage dealer here, so it's going to be about Void's defense. Or if they pick him off, Birdring could be the one to grab an early kill.
Some nice right clicks there. Void having to pop the defense matrix.
It's already used early.
Transcendent's going to come through as they just pile forward, just trying to rush down Envy. A sound barrier is there at the last second to keep Taimu alive. The payload moving on the backside. Coco just kind of cheating this one forward. They identify this immediately, leap back over, but Luffy has been taken out so far. A 2-for-1 in favor of Kongdu Panthera. As Effect desperately tries to find more. The self-destruct not going to come up with any kills from Mickey. Now answered out by the one from Void. They get zoned back off the payload for the moment, but they still keep it contested. He actually gets popped back out of his own mech now in the Baby D form. Not going to be offering up too much as Rascal has the tac visor ready to go, and with everybody dead, they will get that defense.
Effect dying early in that fight, a big problem coming to try to rejoin, but Taimu's death as he popped the tac visor, that was the key. Whether or not he was able to make that tac visor work was going to be the decisive factor there. The only other person who could try to carry the fight would have been Effect, but he was dead already, and Void didn't really need to use the defense matrix to stop that tac visor from coming out because there was already Birdring and the dive coming in on Fisher, diving in to push Taimu into the back lines, kill him out there, then collapse onto everybody else. And we saw the backdoor attempt, sort of, if you will, with Coco and Mickey there, but it meant they weren't really there to peel for Taimu, who ended up dying. So a close call there for Kongdu Panthera, especially with the greedy self-destruct we saw from Void, which definitely shows some holes potentially in his playstyle. But they get the hold all the same here, so no completion for EnVyUs.
I mean, just in front of the point here. So EnVyUs going to be looking for a very strong defense to start things off and try to take this one down. You can see a very similar composition coming through as Taimu will be moving over to the Sombra for the first time in this series to start things off.
Fisher making some sort of hand motion here, perhaps laying out the strat in an invisible whiteboard. Maybe he imagines his invisible whiteboards as chalkboards. I'll never know, but
yeah, that's one of the things a few people don't know about Kongdu is they actually don't communicate vocally. They just use only hand signals during the game.
Yeah, they used to do interpretive dance, but they figured it was probably best to move on to the hand signals.
Now it'd be actually so impressive if you could somehow coordinate a game like Overwatch over nothing but hand signals.
So look at what EnVyUs is doing with their comp. It's very similar. Taimu, similar to Rascal, will be on the Sombra. It's going to be Harry Hook, as I said, switching over to the DPS role again, just like Waka Waka did. Both players, Harry Hook and Waka Waka, ex-DPS Lucios that were once soldiers, now flexing onto the soldier with this composition. Rascal, we've seen him do the opening Hanzo before, usually on Hollywood. I don't think he'll stick with it. Nope. Sadly not.
Yeah, unsurprising. Yeah, we see that swap come through. So actually, it's just going to be reverse compositions as Taimu on the Sombra goes forward, looking to build up for that EMP. And Rascal on the soldier with Birdring on that Tracer.
Also, Luffy on the Zenyatta, not going to be the Ana, so looking for extra burst onto targets that come to the front line. It's going to be Coco primarily. Speaking of which, he almost goes down.
Yeah, he's just going to go down right off the bat. Birdring finds the kill, couldn't make it over to the hacked health pack in time to keep himself alive. A big kickoff here for Kongdu Panthera, but doesn't buy them any time on the point. It's going to be the question. You can see Envy being zoned back. Harry having to drop off that high ground. Just cheats his way back forward, goes dangerously low. The shots coming through right at the last second there from Chips to keep him alive, but Mickey has fallen, so the tank line going to be very targeted out here by, for EnVyUs. As they consistently fall down, Coco rejoining the fight as they try to push in, keep this contested. They're halfway to the first tick.
Total control here. The Discord orbs were incredible. Every time a target was focused, the Discord orb was there.
That's just going to be it.
And just as EnVyUs did, they're going to get the first cap here. So you could really argue Luffy actually getting more value on this Zenyatta than Chips did on the Ana on the previous attack. And that was a crushing victory there for Panthera. Didn't think it was going to go so easily, especially with Taimu so well versed on the Sombra right now, but he switches onto the soldier, not willing to run it any further.
I immediate swap off now. Birdring looking to the backside, has the
the
pulse
stick.
bomb down. That's going to be Chips going down. Harry is here to offer up some heals for the rest of his team, but now they have to be worried about that flanking position that Birdring has established. And you can see them kiting all the way back, just going to be waiting for that respawn to push forward as a squad yet again to contest this. But moving forward, about to be around halfway through the streets phase with still 4 minutes 40 seconds remaining. Kongju Panthera looking very strong, and they have plenty of ultimates in the war chest.
They're going to have nearly all of them. Only Birdring missing his because he hit the ultimate there in the back and actually got the pick onto Chips, which helped the push continue. We're going to see one attempted here for effect. Unfortunately, not able to make it happen. They do pop the Transcendence, however. That's one victory here for EnVyUs.
Of course, that primal range is going to be the big one, and Fisher will still go down, gets targeted out. Does finish off Taimu right at the end, and now Mickey popped onto the Mac as Rascal is firing away. At a safe spot, keeping this payload moving up. It's right in front of point B, and the contest still not really there. Last second will come through 0.4 meters to go for Kongju Panthera to go ahead and pop more time onto the bank for themselves. And with Coco going down, you have to expect that it's going to be coming through. Effective on that pulse bomb, finds Luffy, but has to recall out to try to keep himself alive. Won't do so in the end. The cap is there. 5 minutes, 20 seconds here for Kongju Panthera to go just in front of point C. And things are starting to look a little bit rough here for EnVyUs.
Birdring looking for the catch here on the respawns coming over for EnVyUs. Felt a little bit wasteful to see the pulse bomb down for effect, perhaps trying to get the split spawn there onto Luffy. Unsuccessful. Here we're going to see it attempted here. Not going to succeed. Good block there by Mickey.
It's a bit of damage onto Chips, but doesn't find the kill. Meanwhile, effect says just the polar opposite, takes down Luffy even without the pulse bomb. So good delay here from Effect, just trying to stop Kongju Panthera any way that he can.
Effect has just been shut down a lot of this game by not only the defense matrices from Void, but Birdring in the 1v1s. Birdring has been crushing it tonight, so the onus is on Taimu. And if he can't find anything to happen, there's no initiation here for EnVyUs when the dive comes in, if they can't pick a target off. And when Void is playing defensively, as for the most part he has been, EnVyUs is really struggling with their DPS. As you can see, Taimu again is trying to look for an opportunity for the tac visor.
He showed us some huge ones on Oasis, hasn't really seen it yet so far here.
Another wasted one here.
Yeah, it's just kiting back, just trying to keep himself alive. Chips goes down, the Helos rockets from Rascal find him. Sound barrier down by EnVyUs, they try to stay alive. They do get the pick off onto Luffy. Taimu is able to snipe him out with a right click. So a decent one, but they trade back onto Harry Hook, so it's just a back and forth. Supports being exchanged on both sides. Pulse bomb does find the stick here from Effect, but doesn't go down. It looked like that was the stick coming through, but doesn't
Guess
find
maybe
the kill
didn't quite
in the
get
end.
through, but Void with such patience with his self-destruct, using it only at the last most important moment here, and that is probably just going to be lights out. We're going to see these trickle of respawns coming over here for EnVyUs, but 3 minutes and 40 on the clock for Panthera.
They have to pop the Transcendence just to try to get in onto the point, but even then it's such an uphill battle. Match now by Luffy, who has his own. Throwing this one out, pulse bomb almost takes Void out of the mech. Will do so right at the end. Thought maybe he would have it, the healing. He's healing up the mech. So he does get knocked into the Baby Demon, will get taken out as Luffy falls as well. Envy trying to hold firm, 3.29 meters in front of that final cap for Kongju Panthera. There's so much time in the bank. This would be one David and Goliath story of a defense if they can pull this off. There's only the Primal Rage available for them. Tac Visor on the way.
But they've built up an ult advantage. Taimu's going to have another tac visor, as you said, very soon. Chips is much further away with his Transcendence, but Void, he used his self-destruct, hoping they were going to get the kill there. He was patient. There were 2 times he wanted to use it, didn't use it, held onto it, but still, because he used it here and they still didn't get the capture, probably going to feel a little bit frustrated about this one. Going in immediately onto Taimu, though, with that defense matrix.
Luffy is really far forward. He's actually going to be the first one that goes down. That could be huge here for EnVyUs as they look for more picks. Birdring pushing forward, trying to get rid of Mickey, trying to knock him out of that mech. Hasn't been able to do so successfully yet, and Coco chases up into the stairwell and gets rid of Rascal. And now you can see Kongju Panthera running for the hills, trying desperately to get back towards the spawn. They want Waka Waka so badly. It would be a major overstep, so they have to kite back. He will live.
And now Chips,
yet again, more time is bought.
Chips and Harry going to have their support ultimate soon. Taimu didn't pop the tac visor there. He has it saved. In effect, can try to drop down another pulse bomb from the back to harass. And the rollback's coming in. What seemed an impossible defense here on the side of EnVyUs now looks more and more likely by the second.
It's going to be a wraparound from the left flank now as they go forward, desperately trying to dive into the backside. They want to get rid of Chips. They want Harry Hook. They want to deny out those support ultimates. Won't be able to find it, but they do find Mickey. But in the meantime, they're losing both their supports. Waka Waka and Luffy both go down. Harry killing the enemy Lucio with the boop. Mickey will get taken down here by Birdring. But with no heals, Kongju Panthera are just going to get picked off one by one. Void jumping off the side of the map for the reset, and EnVyUs is buying a very much needed amount of time here. The rollback and very significant on that payload.
Really only Taimu's ultimate gone now. The tac visor was used there, but Kongdu Panthera is building up now for a big push. They're going to have 6. It's very important that EnVyUs were able to save their defensive ultimates here with the support ultimates and the self-destruct, which can buy so much time
This is when
here.
it can really come down to effect. Tries to get that poke into the backside, forces out on that recall immediately. Meanwhile, Birdring doing exactly the same on the other side of the map. Has the stick on the Taimu. He'll be taken out first and foremost as Coco also goes down. Front line shattered now by the side of Kongdu Panthera, looking to push their way in. Tac visor comes up huge for Rascal. Gets rid of Chips. Gets rid of Harry Hug. Those support ultimates not going to do a damn thing. Mickey throws out the self-destruct. Won't find anything for it. The payload pushing in, looking for that final contest. Is Coco. Leaps in, has the primal rage self-destruct to try to zone him back. He gets taken out. Effect goes down as well. They can't arrive in time with the Transcendence, and Kongdu Panthera will pick up Numbani.
Look at a few matchups of these two teams. It feels like Void is finally finding his patience, which is something he's been really, really criticized for, using self-destructs early. He had one usage reveal in this best of 7 so far that was totally uncalled for, but every other time he's waited. You can see he's always looking, when you have the first-person view, for that amazing self-destruct. They're just holding it until the end just to make sure they finally solidify that push. And now they're up 2-0. The strongest opponent yet in terms of match results for favorites going into this one. EnVyUs had the easier groups. This is their toughest opponent, and now they find themselves 0-2. And it feels a little bit rough, Achilles.
It certainly does. We're talking about the momentum at the beginning of this series, and right now it is just wholly in the hands of Kongdu Panthera.
Birdring
has not been sharing this momentum at all.
Birdring is part of the reason why Effect is not able to find value. Void's defensive play means he can't get the picks he's looking for. We've seen so many eaten pulse bombs. We've seen Birdring punishing Effect using those early recalls. Birdring's there for the catch, getting those kills, and Effect is the strong point of EnVyUs. He's the #1 player on the team. He's #1 in KDA, but when all these defensive tools are shutting him down, EnVyUs looks like the weaker team so far, Achilles.
Yeah, they do. We'll see what happens when we come back from the break, ladies and gentlemen. Kongdu Panthera looking to go to match point if they can close out with a 3-0. EnVyUs, we'll see if they can start firing back and try to close out this series for the Western win. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
언제 어디서나 깔끔하고 상쾌하게.
이런 게 트래비 스타일.
Stylish sparkling water, 트레비.
As a full-time streamer, my computer has to keep up with everything I do, all my streaming applications and the Twitch chat at the same time as the game. The Core i7 allows me to really concentrate on my viewers and my community.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, 2-0 lead in the series for Kongdu Panthera. EnVyUs remaining competitive, but it just hasn't been enough to pick up a win for themselves. A 1-2 loss on Oasis, then losing out on Nimbani. Couldn't quite pull off that defense.
Yeah.
And one more win for Kongdu. That's match point.
And both games are closer than the 2-0 score shows, but the only point that matters is the point on the scoreboard, right? So EnVyUs getting less and less chances to redeem themselves in this series, and Assault, one of their worst map types at 5-5, but it's a really big split. So Hanamura, they're 3-1, Volskaya 2-2. Volskaya is where they had the amazing comeback start against Meta Athena in their first matchup in the group stage around to 16, but Anubis is where they're 0-2, so don't expect to see that one coming into the 2CP here as we head into it. It's a map type that EnVyUs and Taimu have always been frustrated to play. The Western team, it's always been a weakness of them. It wasn't played outside of Apex for a long time, but I think if you run this into Hanamura map, you're very experienced on, one that you've crushed on many times, it's the way to go about things. So let's see where they bring it to, as it is going to be Hanamura, so no shock here. Their best 2-point capture map in Apex. The 3-1 score reflects it. Again, could see that Mickey Torbjorn going into this one, or the Taimu Sombra, which he's been so good at overall, and we saw Chips even on the Sombra back on that Volskaya hold. That was a long time ago. That was in the round of 16, but a lot of tools that EnVyUs can use using their playstyle on this map, and that's why they have this 3-1 score.
Well, they're putting their eggs into this basket. You have to expect that. You come up with a loss on Hanamura, you have your best record as far as 2CP is considered. That could shock you mentally pretty hard. So EnVyUs going to be trying to bounce back, put a win on the board, bring it to 2-1. Trying to claw their way back into this one. Maybe just reverse sweep out from there. Not sure what's going to happen, but backs up against the wall, EnVyUs. Let's see if they can pick up a win with their map selection of Hanamura as we dive in for Game 3.
get it.
All right, here we are. EnVyUs on the defense. You mentioned Mickey with that Torbjorn hovering it at the moment. And we very well could see them push forward with this one as Harry Hook is over onto the soldier.
It's that solo support Chips Ana, which unfortunately hasn't given them great success so far. We saw it completely destroyed on Numbani, and it looks like we'll be able to see the switch here. On to Aria. So, you know, I did... Oh. I was going to say, I do have to get... All right.
I don't believe you at all. There
anyways.
All right, this one I can buy.
Okay, so anyways, as I was saying, there's the caveat with the stat that Hanamura is a 5-2 map for Kongdu Panthera. It's also their best 2 CP, something that EnVyUs and Kaikai definitely considered when they made this map choice, but it's comfort that they choose here over their opponent's strength. And it is going to be the solo support Ana with Mickey on the Diva. So triple DPS here with Harry Hook on the Soldier is going to be their way to defend this as Birdring starts out on the Widow. See how long he sticks with it.
Maybe very well push forward with this one. Looks like he's going to do so. Looking to see if there's any forward members of EnVyUs. Won't be finding anything yet at the moment. And everybody playing safely behind these sightlines. They'll see those shots coming through now and know that there's a Widowmaker on the team. As we collapse backward, Coco going forward, almost gets rid of Birdring. Takes him dangerously low as Effect fires from the low ground. Can't quite come up with a kill yet. In the meantime, Harry Hook play back, has this Winston pushing forward as Mickey nearly gets popped out of the mech. Chips has fallen, so that's going to be the solo support going down, and already the cap just really rolling through here for Kongdu Panthera. Nearly have that second tick. Sure,
could be
back Taimu as far as he can. Taimu has to leap back. Sure won't be able to get the chase, but they still come up with multiple kills, and they're looking to finish this one off. Primal Rage just to go ahead and smack him away.
The strength of Sombra on point A here is the EMP, the hacks you can have when you do knock someone or someone gets caught over the wall, but there was just no way to buy time here for EnVyUs. Once they lost Chips, they got the kill on the Luffy, but that's all they were able to accomplish. Fisher getting into a perfect position. The Widowmaker play forced everyone back into that little room there where there's the stairwell and everything else, and Panthera knew that they were going to be able to, with this Widowmaker pick, force EnVyUs back, or perhaps counter the Torbjorn. When it happened, they dove into that one position, and Fisher was the one who carried that fight.
All right, you think of Effects Pulse Bomb, throws one out, finds a double kill. Birdring and Luffy both going down. Beautiful wrap around to go ahead and get that one. Looking for Waka Waka. Will be able to kill him in the end.
Hey, in that interview, he said that Lucio was the counter tracer. Not in this case.
Yeah, definitely not. Effect. He comes up trumps with that one. Takes him down, but that buys only a little bit of time off of an otherwise massive time bank that Kongdu Panthera have for themselves. 6 minutes, 12 seconds still remaining here.
We're going to see Birdring obviously switch into the Soldier. He's going to look for the high ground harass. It's going to be Rascal this time on the Tracer, and they're just going to do a few eco pushes here to look for the big ultimate push. They've got so much time, as you said, Achilleos.
Yeah, Birdring moving forward here, drops on that biofield, trying to keep himself topped off, doing wonders for him so far. Coco and Mickey have to go ahead and steal off that high ground. That's going to be the sound barrier actually invested here from the side of Kongdu Panthera. As the self-destruct comes down, not going to find anything. Mickey will die. As Fisher finds that kill. You can see Harry getting jumped on and swapped over to that Zenyatta. Will go down.
Spawn. He can't even get out.
Yeah, couldn't get down. Couldn't get out of that one.
This is insane here.
Takes him out.
They're just continuing to stagger these spawns in here, getting the consistent pickoffs. Tac visor for Birdring.
Yeah, takes out Chips. Taimu had that nano boost for a second, but doesn't come with anything. Meanwhile, Birdring still coming up with more and more kills. A near team kill coming through, and is that just going to be the cap? They have to get back onto the point. ASAP, but cannot do it.
Cap. 518.
What?
518, the double
world?
cap. And this comes it down to, yet again, a big capture of the members of EnVyUs into one zone. And it was actually Birdring who capped the spawn there, got the kill onto Chips immediately, brought time for Fisher to get in there, and it was just kills after kills. No defensive setup there, no ultimates on the side of EnVyUs, and it wasn't because they had a massive ult lead or anything like that one Kongdu, that push. It was just their mechanical skill, their corralling of EnVyUs into that spawn location. They locked them in there and they didn't let them out, and that was a nasty double cap and a record time. You just don't see time banks like this all too often.
It's so bizarre to see that snowball work out so well there for Kongdu Panthera. Just drop in the sound barrier, charge in, and with Harry getting picked off outside the spawn, just such limited healing coming through from EnVyUs, and they just get ripped apart, and now 5 minutes, 18 seconds, EnVyUs. What can they do
to
try to replicate this?
This is their map pick, remember. They put their eggs in the basket, as you said, onto this pick. And if they lose here, then it's match point for Kongdu Panthera. And after a really thorough thrashing from Panthera, especially against the Sombra pick on point A, they didn't even have a chance to build an EMP, and that doesn't take very long. Emotions, tensions for EnVyUs, gotta think they're really high right now. They want to go to that finals again. You know, they had a rough season too, and they thought they were the favorites going to this. The Korean analysts were saying they were the favorites going to this. Lunatic High coach specifically, one that interview is going around everywhere, was when he said that EnVyUs was going to win this series. But so far they're down 0-2, and they've got a time bank stacked against them now.
I would love to watch that back. I mean, I think we have enough time before this push even starts, because it took about 10 seconds really to get that push going, to get that second cap. I'll have to watch that one back later. For now, EnVyUs on the attack, still just looking at the 2-2-2 as Taimu comes back in here with a soldier. Opening up, trying to get some damage down on the Fissure. He goes dangerously
Fissure,
low.
famous for this.
There for that.
Famous for these dive-ins on the Winston. Helps get the pick onto Chips here. In effect, trying to find something here, but he's just unable to get a single pick right now.
He's firing away, but yeah, everybody's just too tanky. He just can't get through him. Goes dangerously low. Will get taken out. The leap from Fissure finishes them off, and that's going to be EnVyUs stopped out on that push right off the bat. So already, time bank not going to be looking good for them.
Yeah, no teammates to support him. You could see he just shot between 4 different targets there. He couldn't pick one because no one was able to help him out, get the assist there.
And this is Kongdu playing as a unit. They kite back. Fissure starts up forward, goes to the back line immediately. They're there to protect the squishier members like Luffy and Waka Waka, whereas EnVyUs got completely baited by the Widowmaker off the start. Everybody went forward to try to kill Birdring and then left the back line available, just like this. Harry Hook gets taken down. Taimu does answer with a couple kills. Finds Rascal and Birdring firing back, disabling the DPS members of Kongdu Panthera, but he's at 2 HP, trying desperately to get out of here. Does he actually live? Makes it to a nice safe corner, drops down the biofield to keep himself alive, but in the meantime, Kongdu Panthera is still coming up with multiple kills, and now he's got an angry monkey on his backside, smacking him away with that primal rage.
Well, he will eventually either get taken out or escape here, but the rest of his teammates need to respawn before he can look for anything. We see the self-destruct coming in here.
Not going to find anything from Mickey. Sound barrier thrown down by Kongdu Panthera as they try to hold firm. Pulse bomb finds Taimu. Mickey goes down, knocked out of that mech right at the last second of that one as well. Now Rascal chasing forward, just trying to go ahead, finish off these DPS members. Doesn't really want to pop the Dragon Blade just for this, and we'll pay for that actually as he goes down.
Very puzzling self-destruct for Mickey going in there when none of his teammates were available there to look for the follow-up. And didn't really give any disruption there, so a lot of ultimates used on the side of EnVyUs. They will have this Transcendence, and it looks like Panthera is willing to give this up for the time being. It's just lost too many members there in the fight regardless. And we might see one more dive in. Birdring can find an angle. Doesn't look like it though. Well, here comes the Void coming in.
That's going to be the Transcendence. Actually popped out here by Chips. Not sure if he really needed to invest this one. They do get the cap in the end. Well, not sure how much threat he was under directly there when he had to use that, but now doesn't have it for this push. They do have a sound barrier that they can rely on.
It's going to be an old classic defense style here for Kongdu Panthera. It's going to be the dive here with Ana Lucio and the Genji. So the old 2-2-2 dive composition making a bit of a comeback here. He's got the Dragon Blade available. Got it up very early in that last fight.
No nano boost, so we'll go ahead, push forward. Sound barrier comes down immediately from Harry Hook just to try to deny out that damage. And Effect is able to follow up, finds the kill in onto the Genji. They get rid of Fissure as well. Could this be the snowball? 5 minutes, 6 seconds. Haven't made their way onto the point quite yet. A couple picks coming through. Maybe they can find it. Sound barrier now answered out here by Kongdu Panthera. Waka Waka trying to keep everybody alive. They do not want to hand this over. They at least want to drain the clock significantly before they give up point B.
They already have a time bank advantage here. Taimu's going to get jumped on here. Birdring, ever the persistent, and that's going to be the kill into Chips too. A complete resetting here. Coco even going to have that staggered respawn timer as Birdring finds him. Gets the kill into Waka, but less significant. I was puzzled when we saw Rascal drop down the Dragon Blade, but a little bit less so now that we see him switching over to the Soldier. Dragon Blade there was not the tool they were looking for to pair with all the ultimates. They just wanted to use it, see if he could get some picks and make the switch over. Now already halfway to the Tag Visor. They have an ult economy lead and the time bank lead. EnVyUs in some serious trouble here.
Yeah, going to be matching fire with fire. Only difference between these squads. It's going to be that Lucio coming through here for Harry Hook. And the Ana there for Luffy. bit of differentiation
Part of
as
that
far as
comes
the supports are concerned.
From the run back, obviously Lucio's going to get big speed boosts when
Yeah.
they need to get back to make these pushes a little bit more efficient for time. So they're already down on time right now, so that's part of the reason why he's going into this one.
Well, now Luffy going to get taken out. Effect does find an opening here for the team, and Birdring goes down before he can use the pulse bomb. Effect following up, gets rid of Waka Waka. Both supports being taken down. Void popped out of the mech, gets killed as Taimu has that tag visor ready to go. Jukes out, avoids the self-destruct to keep himself alive. Now pushing in. It's just Fisher against the world as the rest of the respawns start coming through. Has that Discord Orb on him, so he is very squishy on the Winston. Leaps forward, trying to get rid of Taimu, but he takes him out on that leap forward now. And a boost here on a Rascal over on the sidelines. Does get the melee down onto Effect, takes him down. But Kongdu Panthera lose out on several members, but they still are able to deny that second tick on the control meter.
Really clutch bubble coming out from Coco there as well to deny that self-destruct, but Mickey's going to take a dive there down to the edge of Hanamura. And still, defender's advantage is very real for the side of Kongdu Panthera. They just bought so much time with Birdring, with Fisher. He died in the end, but bought enough time for those respawns. EnVyUs is going to need more picks than that. They have an ult economy lead here, but time is ticking down. They're nearly at the halfway mark for what Kongdu has to work with now.
I mean, they need to be getting something within the next minute if they realistically want to take Hanamura right now, unless they can play out of their minds. But right now, Kongdu Panthera has been able to pretty much match them at every twist and turn. We're dueling out with Birdring. Will get taken down. Dashes in for the final melee execute. Pushes him off and is building up for a pulse bomb of his own, maybe to have an Effect-esque play.
That's one of the most valuable picks, too, because he's one of the ones that needs to be building that tack visor. He's the one that's the furthest away next to Chips there with 64%. So a nice pick here for Birdring. He doesn't know the ult percentage, of course, but at the end of the day, that's the one they were looking for, and that's a long walk back for Taimu, who's not able to get anything out of this eco push that EnVyUs is poking in with.
Got the pulse bomb ready to go, throws it out. Couldn't tell if that eat came through. Looked like Coco took a little bit of damage there.
Still not a successful one.
We don't have that sound for the defense matrix consumes yet.
Coming soon, TM.
Yeah, it'll be a nice one when we do get it. Either way, the pulse bomb going to be in effect.
One of the big stories for this series has been Void self-destructs, how passively he's been, instead of aggressive, in the which is what he's most known for, is his self-destruct usage, looking for the amazing swing-arounds, the mid-air ones that go up to the ceiling. He's holding on to it now. Definitely going to be
throws
key.
It out just onto the stairs. Not going to find a stick. Not going to find anything. Not even any damage really coming through onto that one. No pulse bomb down there for Effect. Can build up for another run rather swiftly now. Back visor popped out here by Taimu. Immediately gets jumped on by Fisher, so he just has to hightail it back. Transcendent's forced out from the side of Chips as Waka Waka does fall off screen.
But they need more than that.
They do, as you say. As Fisher, primal range, just looking to get some knockoffs on the map here. If he can just find any, but in the meantime, we'll be able to help take down Chips as Rascal fires off with his own tack visor, gets two, finishes off Coco with a regular fire. The left click takes him down, and it seems like all hope is pretty much lost for the side of EnVyUs on Hanamura.
One push left. They've got Mickey's self-destruct. Building Taimu's tack visor will take a long, long time. Void did use the self-destruct there. That was one tool that they were holding on to for so long, but they no longer have. It's not impossible by any means for EnVyUs, but it's just going to be the first step of many. Even if they get the cap, it will likely be an overtime.
All right, time to see the team.
Oh, the pulse, the double!
Oh, Birdring just goes
that
right
might be
in.
It.
Finds it this time. The defense matrix unable to get the consume. Harry, Chips both get taken down. Fisher single-handedly dismantling the DPS members of EnVyUs. And you'd have to expect that that is going to be it.
They need a miracle now.
Remaining. Can anybody even get there in time to try to delay? For the rest of the team to arrive is going to be the question, and the answer.
I mean, already they're down on.
Pretty much seems like a no. They're pushing their way through. Effect up over onto the right side.
Sound Barrier and Nano could buy so much time. Fisher will eventually get the Primal Rage first. EnVyUs has the card stacked against him. Can they make a miracle happen here?
He makes his way in, but Effect immediately goes down. Fisher, being the recipient of that Nano Boost, goes forward to the Primal Rage, just contains Taimu into the corner, takes him down. Chips has fallen. Everybody going down. Sound Barrier, just for good measure there from Kongdu Panthera. And they will go ahead and close it out. Hanamura over to them. An absolute stomp of a map. And now they are at match point. We were talking about how competitive this best of 7 could be, but Kongdu Panthera, a team that seems like they have absolutely done their research, if not gotten into the heads of Envy, because they are crushing them and they are looking for the 4-0.
Yeah, they certainly are. You ask anybody going into this series, the Korean commentators, the Korean analysts, the coach of Lunatic High, who's desperately watching right now, waiting to see which team is going up to the finals, which team he's going to face. He predicted EnVyUs takes this series, but nobody predicted either way this series was going to be a 4-0. We knew EnVyUs had, quote-unquote, the easier run through the bracket. Panthera had to face off against Lunatic High twice. They had to defeat Luxury Watch Blue in the winners match to get here. They had the harder run, and perhaps they were just the stronger team overall. When you see Birdring versus Tracer, he's winning those matchups. Void having the more defensive, successful attack visors here, and it looks like it's time for the tactical pause here. And for this team right now, EnVyUs down 0-3. They are the hope for the West. It's the 4th of July over in America now, and can they bring the hopes back? It's going to be a challenge as we go into our escort map here. This is, I mean, it's just been really an outclassing, and I feel like when you look at what Taimu's been able to accomplish, it's been so unfortunate that every time he's looking for the attack visors, the quick reactions come out from Panthera. It's Fisher who dives in first most of the time. If for some reason the Discord orbs come through, Fisher's knocked away, then it's Void, and the attack visors from Rascal have been much better overall.
I mean, the thing is, it looks like Taimu is the 4th best DPS player in this match.
Yeah.
Right now, Birdring and Rascal are excelling. Effect is still having, those impactful moments coming up with the multi-man pulse bombs here and there. But very much so in the hands of Kong2 Panthera has been that DPS battle. Birdring coming up on top of the Tracer 1v1s time and time again. And these guys just seem like the best duo out of any team at the moment. Now that, Who Are You is out of commission for the side of Lunatic High. You'd have to say Birdring and Rascal are probably the best DPS duo in the world at the moment.
I wonder if we're going to see the Dorado come out here for EnVyUs. They're 4-1 on the map. This is the map that they were able to defeat Meta Athena on when it was the Meta Athena's first map pick back in the round of 16. That was against Hoon Zarya. This is a different type of team. Will they take a risk? Run the Route 66 of the Gibraltar for the first time. All 5 escort maps this season have been on Dorado for EnVyUs, so it's the map of choice, but that means that Kong2 Panthera will likely expect this and will know what to do to counter the composition of EnVyUs. And escort, such a very momentum-based map type, will EnVyUs be able to keep it together here? As normally, when EnVyUs has taken a series like this, it's all smiles. Even in their series against X6, they kept it together morale-wise. This is the first time where everyone is silent, and the only person in the room talking is Kai. Effect adding a few thoughts in here and there, but EnVyUs look defeated already, down 0-3, calling the pause. The second pause they've called this tournament. And Panthera, I went in the player room during our little commercial break there. They were hyped. They were motivated. They were talking about how Birdring is crushing Effect. EnVyUs needs to get their mentality back. This win is going to be the first of many. But at least we're finally starting to see a smile on Mickey's face here.
I mean, Mickey and Effect, they've exchanged a couple ones, but overall, it has been a very solemn look inside the booth. Kai just trying to instill some confidence. Get these guys motivated to get their heads back into the game, because it's been slipping away ever since the loss on Oasis. Nimbani, a bit more competitive, still looking okay, and then we move on to Hanamura, where they just get completely stomped out.
It just feels like
a lot of work needs to be done in these 3 minutes for this tactical pause.
I can't be critical of Taimu or Effect's play individually, specifically, but it feels like Panthera has their number. The game's up. They know exactly how Effect tries to go for the flanks. They punish him at every turn.
Mickey didn't get his high five.
Oh boy.
That's a bad sign.
High five miss, that's never a good thing. But we'll see if they can figure a way to flex this one around, maybe do a different, more defensive Tracer style, or try to protect Taimu a little bit better when they go for the aggressive tack visors. But Panthera look to close this one out. We'll see where we're headed. You would have to assume it's going to be the Dorado again here. Dorado, a 2-2 map for Panthera, so if they pick this comfort pick, at least Dorado doesn't have the massive lead. Or sorry, Panthera doesn't have the massive lead they did on Hanamura, now 6-2 on that map. A less risky pick in terms of comfort for Team EnVyUs here.
Where do you even go? Is gonna be the question.
Maybe this is the time you bring out the strat you were hoping to use in the finals. You were holding on to it, but you need to use it now. The map pick will be revealed. Will we see our first non-Dorado map from EnVyUs? It will be Route 66.
Okay.
A risky choice considering the really strong play we've seen from Panthera using the Genji. Something that EnVyUs themselves reluctant to run, haven't run at all this season.
Thought maybe we would see Dorado, but then again, Kongdu could just They'll pull out the Junkrat, tilt Envy off the face of the earth, perhaps. So we'll be avoiding that one.
Could be one of their
Route
fears.
66 for these guys. Need to have a stellar performance to close this out. Need to go the distance all the way to point C, time in the bank, and then just try to shut out Kongju Panthera. If they can do that, maybe that regains the momentum for them in this series to try and complete the reverse sweep. The reverse sweep.
They've done it before.
In a best of 7. Did it against Meta Athena, their first match here in Apex Season 3. But now, this one's for everything. That was a round of 16 match. The win is nice. The points are nicer. But this is to make it to the grand final, to square off against Lunatic High and try to regain that championship win that they have not had since Season 1. Let's see if they can start it off as we dive into potentially our final map of the night, Route 66.
I get it.
EnVyUs still holding on strong despite the 0-3 record at the moment, but now it all comes down to this. And what better way to close this out potentially, or to start a comeback, than on good old American soil.
That's right. Route 66, 4th of July. I know everyone's like, wait, no, it's not. The people stay out in the West. So look at your clocks. It's past midnight. It's time. It is 4th of July.
Yeah, so, you know, go set off some fireworks, wake up your neighbors.
Yeah.
Unless that's illegal in your state.
Only if it's illegal in your state.
Yeah, I can't condone that otherwise.
Sure. Otherwise, please do not.
But
we would never suggest it.
If you do it, I won't tell anyone.
Yeah. I mean, just don't tell anyone we said that it was okay, because we didn't.
Yeah. If it's legal.
Exactly. So
it's going to be a bunch of Kona spam in the chat right now.
Oh, no doubt. Well, this is going to be for EnVyUs here. Again, the Sombra play. Chips on it this time, though. Time on the Soldier. So switching it up here as Harry looks to defend on the Lucio. Very strong at the beginning of this map. You can even get boops oftentimes.
Gets a decent glance there at about 4 members.
All right, Birdring looking to go for the snipes as well. This is not a troll pick. He's running it again.
He's looking for it. The boards come through here from the side of EnVyUs, trying to dive in. Chips. That's Sombra. It's a decent bit of his ult there.
Chasing down Effect here, unable to find anything yet again. And Taimu's already sniped.
Birdring finds that hit. Now Effect is firing straight into the defense matrix. Not going to be getting a whole lot done in that regard. Chips does have the EMP ready to go. His Fisher does fall. Nice pick off there by Harry. Comes up with that one, and actually Effect swoops in, taking down Rascal, saving his teammate's life. So EnVyUs will be able to posture forward onto this payload for the moment. Yep, gets the rehack, still has that EMP ready and raring to go.
Kongdu just going to stick with the boosted Widowmaker here, though, with Waka Waka, not Luffy, actually.
Any other game, that would sound so terrible, but because it's Overwatch, it's a good thing. EMP coming down. Well, doesn't have the pick up, but Timer's there to follow up, so good communication coming through as he gets rid of Luffy.
It looked strong at first, but it looks like the strength is fading of this composition for Panthera. Perhaps I spoke too soon. Rascal at least going to get the pulse bomb kill here.
Ooh, almost dashes off the map.
Trying to get that cactus hide, not going to happen.
Yeah, will go down in the end as Effect comes up with that kill. The res is there, however, from Waka Waka, bringing him back in. Pops Fisher and Rascal back up. They trying to contest onto the payload. Birdring, you know, we're in a rough spot when the Widowmaker has to push forward onto the payload, but they do open up, find a couple picks as Coco and Time will come down. Chips, yet again, another EMP ready to go.
Yeah, this is a good position for it potentially here. Wants to look for a better one.
He's trying to bait out, actually, the Transcendence, but Luffy doesn't have it because they killed him so quickly.
Yeah.
So Chips actually overstays on that and does go down for it. Now Luffy's going to have the Transcendence. He can try again to bait this one out, but this actually gives a lot of space on that payload.
It's funny because Luffy was specifically watching him just to wait for if he was going to look for it, and so he was already tracking him. Then he was the one to get the kill, actually, not using the Transcendence. Here's the pick onto Effect. He went into a death trap here.
I mean, this entire corner is just an absolute brawl. Pulse bomb out here from Rascal, not going to find the pick. As the Primal Rage does come through, self-destruct out by Mickey, but it's on the high ground. Not going to be finding a whole lot as far as the damage is concerned. The payload just about 5 meters in front of point A. So good distance here for Kongju Panthera. The time could have been better. Has been drained down quite a bit as we see that EMP coming through. Sound barrier down here for EnVyUs as they try to stay alive, and Effect is able to follow up. Takes out Birdring. They lose out on the Luffy as well.
No res.
They get rid of him. Yeah, no res able to come through. Way too late onto that one.
Well, he was EMP'd there. That was a huge moment. They were able to stop him from getting that. They targeted him down. They could see that he had the res available.
Pulse bomb down. We'll go ahead, pop Void out of the mech as they just desperately try to defend this one. Roll back. Not quite coming through. Almost gets pushed in, actually, right at the last second as Taimu pops that tack visor. Does get rid of Rascal.
And finally it's time to switch off the Widow here. We're going to see the
have to let it go.
Mercy here. We're going to see a res come out onto Rascal. They want to push this in, and they are going to get it.
Well, they're able to get that one in the end. Still decent drain on the time bank there from the side of EnVy. They'll be sticking through with chips on this Sombra by the look of things.
Notice specifically Birdring is chasing Taimu. Taimu is his primary target because he knows he's his primary counter here on the soldier. So he's always looking for the shots on the Taimu. When he can't find him, he's looking for the other squishies. Sees him now.
Rascal going in, looking for the pulse bomb, not going to find anything. Has to recall back.
So it's the tag team effort between Birdring and Rascal right now, looking for Taimu. If Taimu's gone, then Birdring has free reign.
Well, Lumpy going down yet again. Chips finds that kill. And now can just start building up for yet another EMP. They lose that one to effect. The boot through from Void does take him down. But you can see yet again EnVy looking to play very far forward. They know that they have to come through these choke points or through the ridge up on the high ground to get down to the payload. So they just want to play as far forward as they possibly can. Have that 200 HP pack that they can consistently get back to keep themselves alive. But Chips goes down, so that's going to be a big stopper on that build-up for the EMP. Not going to have it this time around. Now Mickey going to get popped out of the mech. Has the self-destruct. Will throw it out right in the corridor.
Rascal's
find any picks with it, however.
Been looking for those picks onto Mickey every time he drops the self-destruct for survival, and he's been using it, I feel, a little bit too liberally. It's been costing them big when he gets picked off like this. Now he's also coming back with this late respawn and doesn't have the self-destruct anymore. Rascal is just taking this game by the horns right now.
Oh, but that's one dash too far forward. Does get up there by those Helix rockets, gets taken down in the meantime. Self-destruct thrown out here. Not going to find effect, makes his way around the corner. Has the follow-up immediately in onto the mech. Just go ahead and take Void straight out of that one again. Primal Rage popped up by Fisher, goes dangerously low, will be taken down. Effect is getting rid of those tanky members of Kongju Panthera, but they're still losing so many members on the side of EnVyUs. Will get taken down. An effective team kill coming through at the end of that. The payload keeps pushing.
You can just see this one moment where when Void drops the self-destruct and he doesn't have to worry about the defense matrix anymore. Just this amazing display of a skill by effect. Chasing him down, tags the pulse bomb in. Beautiful control, movement there. But Rascal overall has had his number. He's been the better tracer tonight. Same with Birdring. As we see the EMP go down.
Sound barrier coming through here from EnVy as they try to stay alive. Luffy, Void, Rascal all going down. Birdring with the tack visor on this flank. Does get rid of effect, but that's about all he's finding so far. Helix Rocket's not connecting in on the Harry Hook. And he will just go ahead and kite back and look to regroup with the rest of his squad.
Not a whole lot of time left for Kongju Panthera.
Harry really chasing in for this one. They want the kill. They'll take him out. Nice stagger.
Harry, one of the higher KDAs here on the Lucio.
But he's going to get punished for it, so actually...
He also has one of the higher deaths, too.
Yeah.
He's got a decent KD, but quite a few deaths because of his aggressive nature. But part of the KD boost for him is because he plays a lot of soldier.
Yeah, comes into this one with a .83, probably going to be dropped pretty significantly by the end of the series.
Sure.
Now Rascal going for it, maybe looking to throw out the pulse bomb. We'll get the pop on the mech without having to use that, actually.
Okay, so 20 seconds left here. Pulse bomb goes in for Rascal, doing a lot of damage. Gets Mickey's mech, which is actually huge now.
Yeah, takes him down. Taimu firing back, gets rid of Fisher, but both Winstons have gone down on either side. Void popped out of the mech. So tanky front line here from Kongju Panthera.
Desperate
yet again,
tack
gonna be disrupted. Coco will be coming back up here, trying to rejoin in, but the payload's still moving forward. Tank goes in, trying to delay this as much as possible, but he's just too damn low. He'll get taken down. Taimu dropping off the high ground. Will get finished off. Chips comes in, just sprinting around in stealth. They're looking for him. Will be able to find him. Dashes back, but now that buys enough time for Coco to join in.
He has EMP. This is going to be it. There it
drops
goes.
It down. The bubble goes away, but can they follow up with the kills? It's going to be the question. They drop in. Harry Hook already getting picked off. Don't have the Lucio to offer up those AoE heals. The hack doesn't get off by Chips. Still exchanges on both sides. Waka Waka finding Mickey as they pop him out of the mech, and Fisher has the Primal Rage just smacking around. Finds Taimu, knocks him into the corner, pushes him back away from the payload, but still Coco sitting here. Does buy quite a bit of time. Final push not quite going to get in there as Effect dashes through, tags onto the payload yet again. They're trying to run this one down, but it just doesn't seem possible. But in the meantime, they are baiting out these ultimates. Attack visor will be used by Birdring.
The push continues
Forward with limited ultimates compared to where they were before, but they do get the completion on the point B. It's 1 minute and 20 seconds to make it through the garage all the way to the end.
A lot of desperation there from EnVyUs. Taimu's tack visor was destined to fail. Chips making the switch now off of the Sombra. Had the EMP there, but Panthera split against it. And it's constant aggression onto Taimu. Kongdu Panthera is shutting him down at every turn. Usually it's Fisher. If Fisher fails, Void comes in. EMP here from Luffy now.
Drops that one down, just takes out Chips right off the bat.
They've stolen this health pack.
We'll go ahead, they spill forward, they find Coco, they get Harry Hook. Can they just snowball this one forward? It was going to be the question because now Mickey popped into the mech, will be taken out rather swiftly. And Kongdu Panthera can just keep moving, still have the sound barrier ready to go. Rascal finds another one, yet again, killing effect with the melee.
The Luffy switch onto the Sombra here is so cool. He finds the health pack there, steals it away. EnVyUs can't hold the point anymore. So many members dash in to try to grab that health pack. They all fail, but it's no longer belonging to them. Rascal just trying to bait Mickey away from protecting his weakened targets.
Sound barrier down from both sides. Pulse bomb comes out from Rascal, not going to find anything, and Fisher's going to be the first one that falls. Coco finds the pick. Payload now going to be contested. Just 14 seconds remaining here on the clock. Taimu gets the Helix rockets in. Oh, the Rascal takes him out. Doesn't find too much else with that tack visor, but you can see they have him headed for the hills. Waka Waka has been finished off. It's 2 seconds remaining. Void pushing forward, trying to get the tag in. Or will force out the
Fisher,
overtime.
soon to have a primal. He's soon to have it.
They're trying to keep
he dies
out of here, but he gets taken out, and that's going to be it. EnVyUs able to hold right in front of point C. No time in the bank here for Kongdu Panthera. Can they get the completion is the question. This was their map selection. They need to have a very strong attack. They started things off very well with the defense.
Well, because EnVyUs had a map choice, they got to choose attack. They went attack first, and with this, we'll see what they bring to the defense. I feel like one of the reasons why they weren't able to get the completion there was the heavy commitment to the Widowmaker early on, which had mixed results. They were able to barely force the checkpoints every time with a lot of ult usage. So EnVyUs had a lot of ult advantages there, and they had the better defensive engage there at the end. At the longest run back for Panthera, the Sombra pick looked great at first. They got the health pack, they got those picks, and the kills started to stream through. But EnVyUs, all they needed was one grouping up. They had the better ults, as mentioned. And so now it's going to be all about the defense for Panthera. They absolutely, if they have another heroic defense like what we saw on Hanamura, could close this one out. Absolutely possible. So EnVyUs, this is their moment. This is where they're most mortal in this series, is this one attack. They have to push it nearly to completion.
I mean, they need to be doing this with time in the bank, like you said. Kongdu Panthera really just pushing the clock every single time, barely making it there. Doesn't get the completion in the end. So EnVyUs, they need to be fluid with these swaps. If whatever they're running isn't working out, they need to be able to switch very swiftly to try to match so far.
Let's see what they run first.
They're playing around with some silly picks at the moment, so nothing really concrete. Seems like Chips and Harry likely going to be on the Zenyatta and the Lucio. But Rascal's here on that Sombra.
Always,
so he can, nullify those sound barriers entirely, get rid of Chips very quickly.
It's nice to have Rascal because he's a DPS player on the Sombra, so often very successful. Ooh, get a hit there with this time move before he swaps.
Yeah, looks for the scatter
So they
arrow.
still have two supports with this, and the double DPS with Rascal having the hack potential. They want to hold this hard. That's why they commit to the double support and the Sombra, not switching Luffy off onto it.
Yeah, this is just going to be the standard 2-2-2 here from the side of EnVyUs. Not really changing anything up, not inventing anything new as far as the compositions are concerned. Fisher jumping up over to the high ground. Just poking out where he can as EnVy tries to work their way around this first corner. Firing off, and Rascal building up for that EMP, 55%, but actually Fisher off screen is going to be the first one that goes down. Mickey comes up with the kill. A big opening, but Rascal from the backside helps take out Chips. Decent exchanges here on both sides. Payload for now, still moving up, but Rascal does have that EMP ready to go, pushes forward. Hasn't had to drop it out yet, because now Kongdu Panthera, they sweep through and they come up with multiple kills.
Now they have such an ult advantage too. Void's going to have the self-destruct coming up soon. Transcendence available, Birdring holding onto that pulse bomb. And this is, again, just a showcasing of Birdring's skill. He's number 2, right? If you compare Effect to Birdring and KD, they're both at the top, but it's Birdring who might pass Effect today with how well he's been playing. Again, holding onto this pulse bomb, looking for an opportunity, but wants the best opportunity, not a mediocre one. Looking for Chips here. Again, not even needing the pulse bomb. Will avoid the boop here. They're going to maybe get the double. Gets it. Gets the double there, and Taimu's down. This is disastrous.
Effect gets taken out as well. It's just Coco left alive. And they have to invest absolutely nothing. No pulse bomb used. They don't invest any ultimates whatsoever, and they just sweep right through EnVyUs. And that is one of the most damning signs.
Yeah, it almost looks like EnVyUs is done in this series. They need to muster this together. Panthera is playing on fire right now. Again, Birdring just going to look for this high ground drop down onto Chips. We'll see if he's ready this time.
He's poking out. They know exactly where he's at, but Chips has already been taken down.
There's the
Rascal
focus.
finds the kill, but yet again doesn't have to invest the EMP to finish off this Zenyatta.
Almost going to be a 6 ultimate defense now for Panthera. With the Hex here, there's no health pack to protect the Zenyatta when he comes in on the right side.
He is just hitting 80% on his first Transcendence at the moment. So EnVyUs have not been able to build up their ultimates nearly as rapidly as you would hope. Birdring comes through, has
Another
the
pick
stick.
on the Chips. That's
Don't-
the third
Sorry,
one.
you don't have Transcendence, can't use it to stay alive. He goes down. Birdring invested this time around, but Kongdu Panthera still don't need anything else to maintain this hold.
Mickey needs to be moving his focus not onto protecting the DPSs now, but to protect Chips, or this is never going to work. Mickey just sitting here stationary now, waiting to try to get the punish play perhaps here when the dive comes in.
I mean, this is almost hard to watch. They do finally have the double support ultimates available here, but all of that can be taken away by Rascal in one swift
Okay, here comes the
motion
dive.
with the EMP.
They're going to engage here. The Transcendence is down. Here comes
Transcendence coming
EMP.
through.
He wants
He's
to
trying
wait
cheat
for
it
it.
out.
Yep.
He's trying to bait it out, and Chips has used it. Tosses out yet again. Dropping in. Does he want to just burn it to try to get rid of the support?
They have a
The answer's
massive
gonna be no.
advantage.
Fisher's
Oh, it
going
gets taken
up.
out with a Helix, though. That's a huge moment. This could be
Imo.
their push through.
He finds the pick off. Luffy goes down. Now Fisher falling as well as Mickey takes him out. They're going to find multiple kills. Tagvisor gets rid of Birdring. They get rid of Waka Waka. It's nearly the team wipe. A very delayed one as Rascal and Luffy have respawned.
They're still so far away from the checkpoint, though. Panthera has everything, including the EMP here. Transcend's the only thing they're missing. There's a lot of tools here to buy time. EnVyUs needs to rush this one through. Only got 2 on the payload right now. Rascal is waiting for that opportunity.
But is it going to be enough? They will be able to contest here yet again. Sound barrier now coming down from the side of Kongdu Panthera as they look to poke in, and Rascal still has the EMP.
He didn't get the sound
ready
barrier.
to go. They find Luffy, completely corner him up, but Chips has fallen off screen
There's
at the same
EMP.
time. EMP does drop in. Rascal getting himself out to safety, and now self-destruct thrown out here by Void. Not going to come up with any picks. Makes it back into the mech safely as EnVyUs continues to try to contest here, but Taimo gets picked off. Birdring finds the pick. Now Coco going down. One of the tanky members of EnVyUs has fallen, and now it's all on Mickey to try to keep the members safe. Chips swapping over on to that Sombra, trying to get back in here. They're being pushed away from that cart, taking down into the overtime at the moment. Kongdu Panthera seem to be holding firmly on this.
Yeah, looks to be Mickey using his ultimate early, was very wasted, didn't hit anybody there, no effect here, and the kills just continue to come through. This is the longest run back for EnVyUs.
Harry and Mickey taken out yet again. They tag forward. Not going to have anything. It's just Coco here with the Primal Rage trying to smack them away. Effect does find a kill in onto Fisher, but the hack is here onto Coco. Can't do anything. Another EMP dropped in. The monkey likely to be taken down. He
That's
does
it.
go down, and there you have it. Kongdu Panthera. Another 4-0 in a semifinal. They close out. EnVyUs, the Western Hope, defeated on the 4th of July. Not able to show up. Not able to take a single map away from these guys. They will be advancing on to the grand final to square off for the 3rd time this season against Lunatic High.
No one could have predicted the 4-0 score. Most Korean analysts were predicting the EnVyUs win. As you see the man who walks in here, it's J-Field, the former Heroes of the Storm player. Finally, a Kongdu team will make a grand finals here in Apex. This guy was touted to be the reason why Kongdu was doing so well. He came in this season as a new coach for Kongdu for both teams, Uncia and Panthera, and he coaches them to victory here. He's going to finally have his grand finals that Kongdu has been looking for so long. The round of 4 was the furthest they'd ever come, and now not only do they win it, but they win it with a dominant fashion. No Korean analysts predicting a win here for Panthera, but they come out with the 4-0, and the story of EnVyUs, it ends here.
I mean, still a very strong run from these guys, making it deeper than Rogue in the team, in the tournament, all the way here into the semifinal. Do get shut out, but overall, a good season here for EnVy. Unfortunately, will not be making it back in to the grand final to try to retake their title from Season 1. Instead, Kongdu Panthera will be going up against Lunatic High to try to claim it here in Season 3, deny the back-to-back from Lunatic High.
You know,
later on at the end of July, and man, what a way to celebrate your Independence Day, the 0 and 4th of July here for Team EnVyUs.
I mean, you said it best, I think, earlier when you said this series could be summed up basically by, when you look at the 4 DPSs in this game, it was Taimu at number 4, Effect definitely not having his best day here, and Effect and Birdring both at the top of the KDA, and I'd have to double check, but I imagine Effect is going to drop down to number 2 after this one. He was 50 kills behind Birdring, a 0.4 in KDA behind, a massive deficit between the two, but it was Birdring tonight who dominated, who crushed, who found the openings, and they take this win.
I mean, if you combine the KDAs from Birdring, Rascal, and Effect and Taimu, it was 3.8 compared to 3.3. 3.8 being there for EnVy, 3.3 for the side of Kongdu Panthera. So very close. A 0.5 difference is really not much between two players on either side. So we knew that it was going to be competitive, but a lot of that does come through perhaps, the lesser competition that EnVy had to face coming into this
Sure,
line.
and results can speak words very loudly. KDs can speak loudly, but performance, when it matters most, is what speaks most loudly of all. And that's where Birdring and Rascal shine today. Both playing, switching the roles. We saw the Soldier played by both. The Sombra coming out. Luffy as well, a real big hero in the series, switching to the Sombra, showing a lot of different flexibility on the secondary support. We also saw Fisher just punishing Taimu. The goal, it seemed, for Panthera was to punish Taimu at every turn. He was killed so many times, and like I said, can't say anything bad about Taimu's play today, but Panthera shut him down. They played well, and they made sure he could not do the damage he was looking to do.
I mean, overall, Kongdu Panthera just played beautifully. They played cohesively. We're rarely overstepping. There's a few times from Fisher when he went a little bit too deep, but you eat a Discord Orb as a Winston without Primal Rage. You get taken out very swiftly. Outside of that, playing to the team, the tank line consistently backing up to defend the healers and the DPS, the more stationary DPS like the Soldier 76, who can't just be dashing around like the Tracer up in the front lines.
Yeah, and Void...
So it was just really good cohesive play from Kongdu Panthera.
Void also, just as a one final point, just really changing up his playstyle, playing a lot more defensively today, holding on to those self-destructs, and I think that gave a big edge to Panthera. So they take the 4-0, and our finals are decided. It's going to be Lunatic High against Kongdu Panthera. And I am pretty hyped for it, Achilleos. I mean, it is going to be a clash of titans, the rematch. They're tied 1-1, and this is going to settle the best of 3 in a best of 7 on the grandest of stages.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a best of 7 between these guys. The first time they score off, in case you missed it, reverse sweep. Lunatic High taking down Kongdu Panthera, then coming back yet again, beating them 3-1. And, I mean, you hear the fans, Kongdu Panthera, massive fan base, Lunatic High, the biggest fan base in Korea for Overwatch. It's going to be a packed, sold-out crowd and probably one of the loudest audiences that I have ever heard for an esports event.
Absolutely. It will be on the 29th of July, so mark your calendars. That's 25 days from now, so in about 3 weeks' time. So the other cool thing about this finals is there's so much time to prepare. There's so much for these teams to improve on study. We might be on a different meta. The entirety of what we know to be true of Overwatch could be different by then, so be sure to be watching these players' streams and following the competitive scene throughout this, because it's a long way away and expectations could change, but this is definitely going to be a sick grand finals. And I love, actually, that we have so much time for these players to settle in, to really prepare.
Yeah. I mean, plenty of time to prep, research your opponent. I mean, it seems like Kongdu Panthera did a very good job of it, researching out onto EnVyUs here. Really allowed for them to come up with that very swift victory. I mean, an hour 45 perhaps since the beginning of the broadcast, with a break, with a tactical pause. They were able to close that one out with a 4-0. So just a clinical performance here from Kongdu Panthera. Just take apart EnVyUs, dissecting them map after map.
Yeah, well, it was a sad story for the Western fans, but EnVyUs will always be remembered for, in the 3 seasons we've had, the only Western team to have a championship. But they're not done yet, because we will have our 3rd and 4th place match. You and I will be commentating that on Friday. So EnVyUs will have one chance to at least redeem themselves against a Freak of Freaks Blue, get that extra prize money and prestige of 3rd place.
And I think this is one of the ones that will be the biggest takeaway, actually, for EnVy now that they've fallen out of the tournament, is if they can take down a Freak of Freaks Blue. We saw the 4-0 come through for Lunatic High, which earned their way into the final. EnVyUs now losing out. So both of these teams have suffered 0-4 losses in the semis. That should be a very big clash for them. I believe it's another best of 7 here for the 3rd place match. So if EnVy can take down a Freak of Freaks Blue, I think they can especially hold their heads high going back to America, preparing for the Overwatch League, as a squad, getting ready for that that next tier of competition. if they can take down Africa Freaks Blue. If they lose out in that matchup, then perhaps it really was just the easy road that got them to the semifinal.
And it could shut up some of the fans who were saying, well, they had the easy groups. Both teams actually said they both had the easy group. So what happens when both dominant forces of the easy groups collide? Who's the better of those two teams? Should be exciting.
I feel like it either confirms or denies the easy group scenario for either of these teams.
Yeah,
whoever comes out, it's like, oh, well, the people are just going to be like, okay, well, they had the easy group. That's why they made it that far. So it's going to be... It's very polarizing for sure. It's not 100% either way. There was some stiff competition in there for both of the teams, especially for the likes of Envy with Meta Athena, who did underperform.
It's also the rematch of the Season 1 Grand Finals. So
it is.
You get
maybe it's another 4-0 for Envy.
Grudge match potential there. Africa has the revenge story, so honestly, a lot of extra storylines behind the scenes, even though it's just a third, fourth place.
I think the best story is that if Africa Freaks Blue just consistently get 0-4'd in best of sevens. I think that would be the best running thing that we have had throughout the history of Apex. So
yeah, they were
maybe it'll happen again.
Dominant until the best of 7 that just got smashed 4-0. Then it happens again.
Yep.
Could be where they're at. They definitely don't want that to be the case.
That's where it all falls apart.
Yeah.
They can't count past 5. Once it hits that point, they're just like, I don't know anymore, and it just goes down.
But they didn't even take a single game on those either.
Yeah,
so
I know.
It's been rough.
It's been rough stuff there for Africa Freaks Blue, but they desperately want that win so they can eat beef again, go to barbecue.
Yeah, that's right.
Still on that diet.
Yeah, otherwise they're going to be pretty hungry, eating carrots and whatnot, having that very healthy diet. I don't know what they're eating in the house.
I would be very sad if I had to do that all the time.
Yeah.
Personally, I can't do it. So I don't know how they put up with it. I guess it's just the motivation factor there to try to get that win. So maybe they could do it against Envy. Either way, not done with those guys yet, so we will be seeing them later on in the week. Have a limited amount of time to prep for that, but still should be able to get their heads together, recover from this loss, and get ready for a Freak Freaks Blue.
That's going to be it for us tonight, though, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We have our finals. We'll see you on the 29th. For the 3rd, 4th, it'll be on Friday. See you then.